Hi, and welcome to another episode of A Walk to Remember. My name is Dwayne Baker-Henderson, and as always, I'll be your host as we explore some of the truths and the myths surrounding postpartum depression, as well as give you some tips to make your journey through postpartum depression or the journey of someone else a little bit easier. Last week we talked about finding the hidden lessons and meanings in the challenges that you're facing. This week I want to talk about the value of actually talking about those challenges. I know it can be difficult to talk about things like postpartum depression because of the stigma that comes along with any kind of mood disorder or emotional disorder. But really, it can add some big value to your life if you do talk about what you're currently going through. And there's 6 things I want to bring up that might convince you that it's a good idea for you as well. The first is that you just have a chance to kind of rehash what's going on with you and just take a step back and bounce ideas off of some other people to really clarify where you're at. And understanding where you are is a big step in getting past that place to feeling well again and feeling strong again. The second is to really understand whether what you're experiencing and what you're saying and what you're feeling is you, or it's the postpartum depression that's talking. And this is something that can be quite difficult to really to explore. There are things that I know, watching my wife go through postpartum depression, there are things that were very obviously not her. They weren't her regular way of doing things or saying things or being. And so those were the things that I could point out were the postpartum depression and not her. And it's good to know that certain things that you're feeling or doing or being aren't you. They're part of the illness, and so you don't need to hold on to those things. You don't have to think that those are you. Another thing that I found is that any kind of trauma, if you own it, if you talk about it and get it out in the open, you can really get past it. You can feel a lot more comfortable in knowing that this is something that I'm going through, and you don't have to hide it. And people can understand better what you're feeling and what you're experiencing. So very, very important just to own what you're going through, whether it's postpartum depression or it's some other kind of illness or a tragedy in your family. If you talk about it, you can own it and move past it. Another thing that you might find is that you find people that are going through similar experiences or that have gone through something similar. When I did my very first episode of A Walk to Remember, I had done some research on just the number of people around me that have gone through postpartum depression, and everything that I read, everything that I watched, everything that I listened to said that it was somewhere between 1 in 6 and 1 in 15 or something like that. So if you know 6 to 15 people, you're very likely to find somebody whose family has gone through something similar to what you're going through. And finding those people, finding other people who have experienced what you're going through, have walked that trail, can give you a lot of solace, can make you feel like you're not alone. And that's really important, knowing that you're not alone, because I know that when we were going through it, it felt like we were. And it wasn't until after the fact that I found out that in fact we weren't the only ones going through it. You may also find somebody who you can help, somebody who is just beginning their postpartum depression journey, and you may be further along, and you may be able to give them some pointers or explain something that they might be feeling, or help them to understand what the experience is or has been for you. And doing that for someone else actually can really help you boost your confidence as well, and it helps somebody else while you're at it. And the last thing is to just get it out in the open so that you're not feeling like there's a burden on you, not having people find out that you're going through something like postpartum depression, or having to cover it up so that people think you're normal, or your life is normal, or it's your life is really positive, and you can actually be yourself and feel what you're feeling, and not have to pretend anything. And being genuine and authentic feels a lot better than trying to cover something up. So if you have a chance, talk about what's going on. Put it in the comments below. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell the other people who are watching this what you're feeling, and you might find that there's some conversation that happens with other people who have felt the same thing. Reaching out to other people has many great advantages. When we were going through postpartum depression, like I said, it was very difficult, and it's still, even though it's been almost 7.5 years now since my family went through postpartum depression. Sometimes it is difficult to talk about still with specific people, and sometimes it brings up old emotions, and it makes you kind of have flashbacks where you revisit how you were feeling, and that's difficult too. But I don't think that it's as difficult as it would have been had we never talked about it. This is part of the reason that I'm doing these videos. I want to share with other people what kind of an experience we went through, so that when they're going through it, when you're going through it, you can know that there's other people who have been there, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. And finding those other people who have been through it, just talking to somebody else who's going through something similar, it's almost like you join hands and you go through it together, and the power of two is bigger than the power of one. And being able to help other people, that's what it's all about, really. So talk about your experience, talk about what you're feeling and what you're thinking, and find people who you trust, who you can talk to about it. And you might find that that helps you through it a little bit faster. And having it out in the open will take a huge weight off your shoulders. It really will. And you might find that you get some help from other people that you never knew that you needed, whether that's helping with childcare or meal prep or whatever. Just like I talked about in my second video, I think it was. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today, just talking about what you're going through. If you like the video, please leave it a like. If you think there might be some value in it for someone else, please share it with them. Put your comments below, whether it's about your current experience or your past experience, or if you have questions or you'd like me to talk about something else specifically, please let me know. I'd love to read what you have to say. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see what's coming up next. I'd love to be able to share with you ahead of time when something is happening and what's going on. I do put out 2 videos a week. Tuesdays is a Walk to Remember, where I do talk about postpartum depression and my family's experience with it. And I also put out a video blog every Friday where I just talk about the things I'm thinking about at the moment. So thank you for watching. Be well, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.